It's been the last handful of months coming in here and doing the show. It feels like we are kind of hitting our stride and we're having fun, and the Broncos are going to be better than they have been in years, and the Nuggets and Avs are both going to have fantastic seasons, and we've been talking about all this stuff, and it's football season's finally here, so let's just continue to ride this vibe that we've been sort of riding here for months. And I will tell you, and I'm speaking for myself, I'm raising my hand, and I have been saying the same phrase for many years, okay? A lot of the same phrases for many years, but one of them has been, once you think you have the NFL figured out, it will humble you. And I fell into the trap that I warned others of. When in this summer, when I start talking about that week 2 game against the Colts, most winnable road game on the schedule, and then you actually see the Colts play football in the 2025 version of themselves, and I'm going, ooh, this is not going to be easy.
No, do you feel like you fell into a trap, or are you just kind of stating the facts, stating the obvious at that time, at that moment?
No, you're right. At that moment.
Moment, like football was not being played. We come in here, we give our opinions. Like the rosters are not all the way solidified, and on paper, that's why we said a lot of times, even with the Denver Broncos, on paper, the Denver Broncos look really, really good. Well, on paper, before the season started, the Indianapolis Colts did not look that good.
That's right.
But then you got to go out there and you play.
Yep.
And we're all human beings, so things happen. You get the right quarterback, the right situation, the right game plan, the right defense, the right type of players around each other. All of a sudden, you look up and you're like the Denver Broncos last year, where you win 10 games.
Right.
So, yeah, I didn't think Indianapolis was going to be as good as they looked against the Miami Dolphins, Zach.
I mean, they beat the brakes off them.
They did.
They beat the brakes off the Dolphins the way that a lot of Broncos country thought Denver could beat the brakes off Tennessee.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that Denver should not win this game.
Totally. Absolutely.
But what we're trying to tell everybody now is we have to caution ourselves that, hey, this is another NFL team, and those men are getting paid. And those guys, those Colts players, and I know a lot of them still. I know Jonathan Taylor, DeForest Buckner. I know a lot of them that are still on that team, and I know that they're very talented players that want to win, players that work their butts off. So going into this game Sunday, Denver is going to have a different mentality because you're not at home. You don't have home field advantage. You're going up against a Colts team that does have the confidence, that has a quarterback that's starting to build confidence in himself, a head coach that got to the playoffs 2 years ago.
Right.
And he's trying to get back, a head coach that helped the Philadelphia Eagles get to the Super Bowl. So we're not going against a bad football team. We're going against a football team that wants to win. Now, for Denver, what do you do about it?
Right. You want to know what was stunning for me? Well, a couple things here. I did not realize until starting to do a dive into the Colts, they had not won their first game in a decade.
Insane.
They are 1-0 for the first time in 10 years.
Insane.
That is crazy. And what else was interesting for me is to watch someone like Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner, go on Rich Eisen's show. And I really like Rich Eisen. And he says, who had the most impressive quarterback performance in week 1? And Kurt Warner said, Daniel Jones. This is not going to be easy. This is going on the road in front of a invigorated home environment that is 1-0 for the first time in a decade. There's no layups here.
Well, it's funny too, Zach, is I did some digging too, and they were talking about, Jonathan Taylor was talking to the press, and they asked JT, they said, hey, like, what's surprised you about Daniel Jones? And he said his athletic ability.
Yeah.
The way he can move outside the pocket.
Yep.
The way he can pass on the run.
Yep.
And then sure enough, in the Miami Dolphin game, Daniel Jones rushes for 2 touchdowns. So for the Broncos defense, that's something that you're going to have to take in consideration is you're going to have to bottle Daniel Jones up because Daniel Jones is going to want to use his legs to continue to keep drives rolling, to try to get that first down, to try to get the 2 first downs of the game if they get the ball first in the game so that they can get some rhythm going.
Yep. For as much as we think of Bo, the athlete and the dual threat, that's who Daniel Jones is also. I watched Daniel Jones one season rush for over 700 yards as a quarterback. They, last week, scored points on every single possession. The punter did not get a rep.
You gotta love it if you're a punter.
Of course.
Free money.
It's just a free day. Just a free day. So yeah, we'll get into the Colts a little bit more throughout the afternoon, but it is not the cupcake that you may have thought even as recent as a month ago.